Morning glory and evening grace, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. It's Wednesday, the day after the election, and the Republicans got thumped, to quote George W. Bush in 2006. And because the GOP got thumped, there's no better person to talk to than Congressman Tom Suozzi, Democrat of New York. But he's sort of like me, except he's wrong about politics. He's Catholic, he's a lawyer, he's...
But you're not a CPA. I'm a CPA too. You left out.
I'm not
CPA.
a CPA. I'm not a CPA. But I heard about you from our mutual friend. He said, "Oh gosh, you guys are the same person by different mothers." I said, "No, he's wrong about everything." But I want to get the view from a Democrat about what happened last night and why. And by the way, how's your hangover with Comrade Mamdani as your mayor now?
Yeah, that's going to be a big issue. But I came out against Mamdani. I came out for Cuomo instead, which wasn't easy to do itself. But
so did I which was really hard to do.
I say I'm a democratic capitalist, not a democratic socialist.
There you go.
Listen, the Democrats won. Mamdani won. Cheryl won. Spanberger won. Much for the same reasons Donald Trump won. They talked about affordability and the cost of living. That's what people care about. That's the number one. If you poll the American people, say, what is the issue you care about the most? They're going to say affordability. And so that's what they all talked about. Now, I disagree with the prescriptions that Mamdani made. I'm more inclined to go along with Cheryl and Spanberger. But, you know, that's if Democrats can get back to focusing on the issue of affordability, they'll do much better. And they have to talk about the things people care about. What do people care about? They care about affordability, immigration, taxes, crime, and health care. And they don't think that's what the Democrats are focused on. And they better start focusing on that on a regular basis.
Let's talk about two of those, which is health care and immigration. On immigration, I am a border hawk and a regularization dove. You know, we got to do something about the 20 to 30 million people who are in the country illegally. And if they're working and they're good people, let's let them stay, but don't let them vote. That's my view. What's your view on the people who are here without permission?
I got the same view as you. I've been working to build a coalition. I've been working with Democrats and Republicans. I've been working with a guy named Morgan Luttrell. I've been working with other Republicans that you've had on your show to build a coalition of business, badges, and the Bible. It's important for business that we have these workers. It's important for law enforcement that they not be caught up in immigration enforcement, because then people are afraid of the cops. And if they're afraid of the cops, you ruin community policing. And the Bible. We want to treat people like human beings. I mean, who wants to separate mommy away from her children? Who wants to break up families? If somebody's been here for 10, 20, 30 years, they're going to work every day, they're contributing to their community and their society, they're going to church on Sunday, why are we like breaking the window of the landscaper's car and dragging the people out with the masks on? That doesn't make any sense. So business.
And then why are we, but from my side, why are people shooting at ICE when they're trying to bring in cartelistas and MS-13 and the other one, TDA? It's crazy to be on the side of letting those folks stay in the country, right?
You are 100% right. I wrote an op-ed piece not long ago on one of your favorite publications, the New York Times. And I said, I agree with President Trump. We have to secure the border. I agree with President Trump that we need a coalition of every part of government, a whole of government effort to go after the cartels, because that's our real enemy. It shouldn't be Democrats versus Republicans. It should be all of us against the cartels that are trafficking drugs and sex trafficking victims into our country. And number three, the president's right that we have to deport violent criminals. Those are all the right things to do. But we are squandering that success by going after people at their workplace, after people at their communities. It doesn't make sense to be distributing this
Congressman,
fear.
let me give you a hard case, not an easy case. You and I both used our easy cases. Let's say the cops start a drunk driver who's way over the limit, been in the country for 5 years, and he's married to an American, but he's not in the country, came in illegally, and he's got a baby. What do we do with him?
Wow, you just made the hardest possible scenario, because if you're married to a U.S. citizen, I think everybody in America believes, you know, there's movies about this. Everybody's under the impression that if you marry a U.S. citizen, you get a chance to get citizenship. There are over 1 million people in America that are married to U.S. citizens that can't get any documentation. And similar to what you said before, we should be working we don't have to give people citizenship. We just should give them work authorization so they can go to work every day and pay taxes and be part of their community. We don't have to let them vote. Just make them a part.
Yeah,
let
I
them
use the
work.
term regularization. I wish I could get it popularized because regularization is what we need. But
I'll
that
start
five,
using it.
that,
If you have me on
all
your
right,
show
well,
again, I'll start using regularization.
oh, I'll have you on every week. Ro Khanna comes on all the time, and he's wrong about everything too. But thus far, we're pretty close. Well, we'll come back to immigration. You actually have to do something about health care. I spent 17 years in Orange County, California on a healthcare commission that spent real money trying to take care of the lowest income population, children. And it's wicked difficult, but I won't put words in your mouth. Do you think Obamacare worked?
I think we need to mend it, not end it. I think there's a lot of good things. I like the fact that more people are covered with health insurance, but the costs are way too high. It's just not. I just was meeting with some doctors today. I said, I'm sick of you guys all coming in here group by group by group. I need all the doctors to work together, the emergency doctors, the orthopedists, the cancer doctors, the obstetrics, all we need a vision from the doctors as a whole, along with the hospitals, and say, let's fix the system so it's more affordable and we can get people to be healthier in our country. It's absurd that we spend all this money in the last 6 months of people's lives. It's absurd that people are using their health insurance to be like entertainment in a way. We need to have people have some sense of responsibility as to when they're using their doctor's appointments. The costs are too high.
I think
we're not healthy enough.
I think before you could vote, I ran OPM, and that meant the Federal Employees Health Benefits Program. And it always had adverse selection. It was always broke. It always needed money. What could we do to fix this system? I think it starts by throwing out Obamacare and starting over. And we got to get some Democrats to confess
I'm
that,
not
because
prepared.
that's just botched.
People have been saying throw out Obamacare for like 15 years, but nobody's
Right.
ever proposed something to take its place. And I'm willing to consider any type of reform that will provide better health care for people, for more people, and will reduce cost. I'm all in on that agenda. But we can't say, let's throw it out first. Let's first have the reform proposals, and let's work together to reduce the costs so that more people can be covered and we can get healthier outcomes.
Any Republicans working with you on that? Dave Joyce represents my hometown. He's a very reasonable guy, very smart
He's
guy.
a great guy. Love him.
Is there a group from the center that can build out on immigration and healthcare?
We're going through this big fight right now in the shutdown about the premium tax credits. And so Don Bacon and I, along with Josh Gottheimer and a guy named Jeff Hurd from Colorado, put out a bipartisan four-person framework to say, let's extend the premium tax credits for 2 years.
Ooh.
Let's put income caps in place, and let's put in protections to stop anybody from fraudulently accessing this money. And
Okay, I like that. If we can agree on the income cap, what is the cap? It should not be more than a married couple making $150,000 should not be getting taxpayer money for their insurance premium.
The country is very different in different places. Where I live, if you're making $150,000 a year, you're actually having a tough time. We also have very incredibly high taxes. So it's very different from place to place. When I talk to my friends that are senators from North Dakota or from Oklahoma, and I tell them about a family that's making $150,000 a year and is living in a $600,000 house, and they can't afford to pay their increased taxes because they lost their salt deduction, they're like, what? A $600,000 house, $150,000 a year? You'll be living in a gated community. You'll belong to the country club with that kind of money. In my community, you're
true.
struggling to get by. So we have to understand it's different from different places in the country.
Okay, let me pause for a second because I want to take a break and then come back and play this part two and later in the show. And this is part two now. I got to ask you about redistricting. Last night, I lived in California from '89 to 2015. I moved to Virginia. California blew up the constitutional amendment that the Democrats jammed down our throats 10 years ago in order to get 5 more seats, citing Texas, which is doing the same thing. There's an arms race on now, and I'm all for it, Congressman. New York did it already. Illinois did it. There isn't one Republican in Massachusetts. I just want to be blunt about this. Are you in favor of partisan gerrymandering the way I am? Because politics is politics.
I hate partisan gerrymandering. I think it's what's killed our country. I think that we have too many people in safe seats that cannot lose. And the only way they can lose is by losing a primary. Nobody votes in the primaries. So these politicians, instead of listening to the people, they listen to their base Republicans far right, Democrats far left. They pander to them because they're just worried about winning a primary. They're not worried about winning their general election. I am in a district that could go either way. I have to listen to everybody. I have to listen to my Democrats, my independents, and my Republicans, or I'm not going to win. I want a district that Donald Trump won by 19,000 votes. So not everybody who votes for president votes for Congress. So for me to win, I had to get 20,000 people who voted for Donald Trump to also vote for me. And to do that, I have to listen to my people. I can't just pander to my base. I think that's good politics. That's good government. We need more competitive seats in America where people are forced to listen to their elected, listen to their constituents. And you
But you know, Congressman, this is tough because the reality is every independent commission I'm familiar with, Arizona and California, and then the Ohio example is a strange duck because the Supreme Court gets striped down the maps. They pretend to be independent, but they're just as partisan can be, and they screw Republicans. And so if states are going to be this way, 31 states went for Donald Trump. That should be 62 senators, right? We only got 53. There's no changing this unless you want to bring a constitutional amendment.
Well, senators
by the time that
aren't
happens.
Senators aren't affected by gerrymandering because they're statewide.
I know,
So
but I'm looking at a constitutional system. You're a good lawyer, and you're actually, I want the audience to know, you're an experienced county executive and a city councilman, so you actually had to get the trash picked up, and you had to have the police work. Yeah, mayor.
Yeah.
So you actually done local government, so we can talk practical here. There is no practical way to change the Constitution to do other than redistricting. And since Illinois and Connecticut and California, and Massachusetts, the big blue states have screwed Republicans, why shouldn't Republicans screw Democrats?
Okay, instead of trying to debate you on this, because I know your position's firmed up on this, let me instead suggest, why not make it so that independents can vote in primaries? If you're a U.S. veteran that served in the Korean War and you're not registered to a party, why can't you vote? So Let America Vote Act, it's called. I got a bipartisan support for that with Brian Fitzpatrick and the Problem Solvers. I'm the co-chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus. 50 members of Congress, evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans, trying to find common sense solutions. So
What's the priority for that group? We're agreeing way too much. I said we're agreeing way too much. I'm alarmed.
You know why? Because you're a smart guy with a good heart, and that's what we need more of. And most people in politics are that way. Most people are good people that are capable people that they wouldn't have won their seat in Congress. The problem is there are four things that are pulling us apart. Number one is these safe seats that everybody panders to their base for the primary. Number two is social media that rewards extremism. Number three is cable news that just tries to get people excited as opposed to educating people. And number four, the thing we have to be most concerned about is our foreign adversaries, Chinese Communist Party, Russia, Iran, North Korea, are using our social media and filling our heads with a bunch of things just to get us pissed off at each other so we don't even recognize each other anymore. And we are falling for it. They take Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter. They take evangelicals and transgender. They take Israel, Palestine, and they blow up both sides, and they just feed one message to the opposite side just to get you pissed off. It's what's killing our country.
Well, we agree on a whole bunch. So I hope you will keep coming back, Congressman, because we do agree on a lot. We got some details to work out, but I do appreciate your joining me today. Going to be tough to beat you, I think, but we'll find out. Congressman Tom Suozzi, thank you so much. I will talk to you again on the return.
Swazi, you got to remember Swazi.
It's going to be a long time. I'm an Irish Catholic. We don't have a lot of Swazis.
My mother's Irish. Was Irish. All right, thank you.
I saw that. We got even the same demo. All right, thank you, Congressman. Be well.